All right, Rob. So the red light just went on. This is when most people freak out, get really nervous. How are you feeling? You all right over there? You okay? You're all right.
I'm
Okay, all
good.
right.
Yeah, we're great.
So not the first
Not my
one.
first
Awesome. Well, that's
rodeo.
good to hear. Why don't you do my listeners a favor here? Tell us who you are and what your company is.
Yeah, so my name's Rob Connolly. I am a co-founder in a startup called Finlete, and we're a platform that's allowing fans to buy future earning contracts directly from very promising
Yeah, this is
athletes.
wild. Just so you guys know, I had a little bit of conversation with Rob. I was like, this is one of the most unique things I've seen in the Reg CF space. I think it's just really innovative. It's really
Yeah.
unique. Tell us kind of how this kind of works. What's the background of this? Just talk to me like nobody knows what you're talking
Yeah.
about right now.
Yeah. So okay. So
Yeah.
I'll take you from the start. So about 2.5 years ago, my co-founder and I were working on a platform. We were building an app
Okay.
called Meetly, which was a way you could meet your favorite athlete. And we were trying to get athletes like Fernando Tatis and all these big athletes to join our platform so fans could pay to meet them. And we came across this article that Fernando Tatis Jr. was going to have to pay millions of dollars to this private hedge fund after he signed a $341
Hmm.
million contract. It was reported that it was like $22 million. And we were
Yeah.
like, what? Like,
Yeah. That's
what is
wild.
this all about? And we started doing this research and like this deep dive into what this is, like what this industry was. And what we found was there is one hedge fund that was signing hundreds of minor league baseball players to these future earning contracts. And we couldn't figure out why. Like baseball players make millions of dollars. Like,
Right.
why would they do this? And then we learned a lot that they don't actually make that much money. And a lot of them are from the
Hmm.
Dominican Republic, Haiti, Panama, countries where they actually really are
Yeah.
like need help, like financial help. And we wanted to find a way that we could actually let fans participate in these
Hmm.
investments and kind of say, hey, there's another option outside of a hedge fund. And so we spent the next year and a half, a year and 7 months working with our legal team and raising capital. And we finally got, the green light and we built Finlete and we launched with our first athlete
Wow.
a week and a
Yeah,
half
it's
ago.
really, really great. And by the way, I'll put links and all this. We'll talk about this a little bit later. But I mean, the site looks great. Everything
Yeah.
looks really professional. It was a good
Thanks.
experience on my end as I kind of dove through and just kind of dove in your world. Talk
Mm,
to us about who is this kind of first athlete? Like, how did you find him? Where did he come
yeah.
from? Like, how do you start to kind of scout who you're looking for?
I literally went to the Dominican Republic with no contacts. Like I'm like, I have to figure out if this is real. Like, is
Yeah.
this actually happening? So I went to the Dominican Republic, not knowing anybody. Kind of did some research, went to a couple of baseball camps, and I connected with this guy who actually lives in Phoenix. His name's JC, and he was scouting a couple players. He was just a really great contact. And then he was sending us some players that he heard were people were chattering about
Mm,
inside the Dominican. And one of those players was a
mm,
Shettery Vargas. And we started doing research on Shettery, and we found out that he signed for $10,000. So in the baseball world, that's like the lowest possible signing bonus you can get from a team as a
all right.
international signee. And he absolutely shattered what's called the DSL, the Dominican Summer
Mm,
League, his first year as a 16-year-old. He was like the All-Star MVP, got all these accolades. He performed better than players that
wow.
signed for millions of dollars. So it was amazing. So then the Rangers challenged him the next year at the Complex League, which is even harder, and he
Hmm.
did even better his second year. For the baseball nerds out there, he had a WRC plus of 131,
Wow.
which is like insane, 2 years in a row. So here's a kid who's one of the top prospects with the Rangers. Is getting tons of chatter about him. Teams. It was reported that multiple
Okay.
teams were trying to trade for him from the Athletic, and we were able to convince him like, hey, we can help you. There's a different way than
Yeah.
going with the hedge fund. We can allow thousands of fans to participate in a future earning contract
Right.
funding opportunity, and you're going to gain fans. You're going to get fair market value
Hmm.
on your
Hmm.
future earning contract, and let's change the game together. Let's help other players out there know that there's other options than just working with
Sure,
one
sure.
private hedge fund.
Yeah, that is that's wild. That's wild. Now, do you see
Yeah.
this at all playing into the NIL for like college sports and stuff? Do you see it going that route, or is this more of a world of professionalism, like what you're working on right now with like the Texas Rangers or Major League Baseball and minor league baseball? Do you see this kind of moving into NIL at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always, opportunities out there, different athletes that
Hmm.
are undervalued, right? And that's really what college
Yeah,
athletes are right now. Especially in football where there's so much revenue being generated, and these athletes aren't getting paid what we feel like is fair market value. We're able to come in and kind of help, connect the dots and create a platform where we can provide funding opportunities and generating thousands of
yeah.
super fans in these athletes and creating these really
Yeah,
unique
that's crazy.
opportunities.
So how do you see sort of growth for the platform itself? Is it something where it's very select?
Yeah,
Is it almost any young athlete that's in the minor league industry? We'll stay with baseball for right now because then you can get into basketball, football, and stuff. But like
yeah,
just in the baseball, is it something
yeah,
that you see like, man, a
yeah.
lot of people could get in on this, or it's a little bit more select than that? How do you see just kind of growth in this space?
Yeah, we think it could be huge. Like we think there's hundreds of athletes that are taking deals with our
Okay.
competitor, this private hedge fund, and we feel like we offer a better platform than what they can offer. I mean, there's a community involved with Finlete that's extremely valuable. So we see this really being great with baseball. The contracts are very, they're all
Mm,
guaranteed. So it's also really nice for people considering doing an investment like this, knowing that there's a real chance of seeing a potential return on a lot of these athletes. I think you know one of the interesting stats, Jeff, is that we did some research back in
mhm.
2014, so 10 years ago, on the top 100 baseball
Yeah.
prospects of that year, and the average career earnings of one of those top 100 prospects are
Wow.
$50 million. That's the average. And 71% of those athletes would have given a positive rate of return should they have taken the same
Mm,
deal we gave at
mm.
Shettery. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting when you start looking at the numbers
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
funny, like, knowing what I know about sports, and I grew up in the whole sports world, and I played a lot, and, I always think minor league baseball is, like, back of the bus, you've got small contracts, you know, maybe
Yeah,
you got up into that majors at one point, you had your time to shine for a month,
yeah,
and then you got brought back down, but it does yeah, I never thought about, like, this world of potentially social media now putting spotlights on athletes more,
yeah,
right? If
yeah,
Vargas basically
yeah,
creates a huge community online, he's got an even better opportunity, right? So just telling his story. So you've got a lot of these things are
yeah,
different than I guess I'm just outside Detroit, so the Toledo Mud Hens, farm team. When you're like, I don't know who this guy is. It's a whole other way to sort of
yeah.
participate in sports. It's really really fascinating. Where do you see kind of the maybe the pitfalls of it? Is it convincing players to participate in this? Like, where do you see kind of the hurdles in this?
Yeah, so I mean, I think right now, I think the biggest challenge for us is convincing the players that
Okay,
fans are willing to do this because they're a little bit
sure.
hesitant because we're brand new. Like they're used to, getting a check today from this
Mm,
private hedge fund, and
right.
then they're off and running. With us, it's just a little bit more. We raise. As we raise,
Yeah.
they're getting paid out, and it's really showing the value. But that's all going to change. Like as we grow and we do more of these deals, which we're going to be
Hmm.
doing more quickly, it's going to give more validation to the model, which I think is it's so much better for the athletes. It's not even close, because the valuations are better for the athletes, and it's the first time that they have a retail market where they can do these type of deals versus
Right.
a wholesale, which is with
Right.
a private hedge fund.
How what changes once, let's say, Vargas, he continues to grow and he gets a big major league contract. Where do you see this kind of going along with it? He goes up to a Reg A, he goes up, he starts doing his own Reg D on the side, or at some point, I guess the lawyers of this world step in and say, no, 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 this is your Texas Rangers contract. You're done with this fundraising over this.